The phone, join Betstar for great odds and awesome products. We've got our two callers on the line for our Who Am I competition for the wonderful prize of an NFL Game Pass, including playoffs. First cab off the rank, Simon in Altona Meadows. Good evening, Simon.
How you going, mate?
That's going very, very well. How are you?
Not bad.
Not bad. So Simon in Altona Meadows is our first contestant. Scott in Toorak is our second. Scott, good evening.
Good evening. How's it going?
Going along very well. Now, we'll get a buzzer test from both of you. Your buzzers will be your name. Simon, first up.
Simon.
And Scott.
Scott.
Cool.
Hey,
it's all working well. Beautiful.
We do off the bench on Saturday morning. They always stuff that up.
It's actually some of the best comedy value on the whole.
You get a bit of an indication as to their chances.
They keep going, what?
So.
What? All right, that's beautiful, Simon and Scott. We'll kick it off. Obviously, first one with their buzzer and a correct answer is going to win. The first clue is I was born with the Christian name Patrick. I was a starting quarterback at Eastern Illinois University on a football scholarship. I played for the Chicago Bears in the NFL, and for the left... Simon.
Jay Cutler.
No.
So what are the rules here, Doc? What do we do? We keep going, and
Scott
gets a free
Scott
crack.
Scott has a crack,
or?
otherwise you've got to
find someone else. Scott gets a crack now, or...?
No. Oh, he can have a crack.
No, we'll give him a couple more clues.
All right.
So I'll repeat that clue. I played for the Chicago Bears in the NFL and for the Leicester Panthers in the UK Budweiser Football League. My first NFL coaching job was as the quarterback's coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to give you one more, and then you're both in the running again, I reckon.
Okay. Yep.
I then became the offensive coordinator with the New York Giants.
Scott.
Bill Belichick?
No, so we're back in. Everyone's back in.
Game on.
Back in, Simon.
Here we go.
So I then became the offensive coordinator with the Giants, where I was known to lock myself in the stadium and sleep on the couches while studying plays on my off days. I took my first head coaching job in 2006, taking my team to the NFC Championship game and winning the NFL Coach of the Year. I won my first Super Bowl as head coach in 2009.
Simon.
Tom
Coughlin.
No.
Ooh.
So, Scott, you're back again. You got this on your own all over again. In 2012, I became the first coach to ever be suspended in NFL history when I was suspended for the season for my role in the bounty scandal.
Sean Penn?
Yes. Well, yes.
Simon,
Give me the name again. Give me the name again.
Sean Penn, I think it is.
No.
Simon's jumping all over it.
Simon, you're back.
Sean Payton, mate.
Correct, Simon. Well done.
That's a ripping battle.
Tough one.
Congratulations to Simon. Hold the line.
Good clues.
Good. 75% of the way through, Scotty.
Sean Penn.
Great actor.
Very
Penn.
close.
21 grand.
Very close.
So, Simon, hang on the line, and Tim will take care of you, mate. He'll get all your details, and we'll be in contact with you tomorrow, or someone from Betstar, and we'll fix that all up for you, buddy.
The quality on that Game Pass, it is fantastic. It really is good.
Better than the AFL and NRL Grand Finals? In standard definition? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, standard definition.
So, out of curiosity, Doc, are you hooking your computer up to your TV to watch it, or you watching
the Game Pass?
Yeah.
No, well, I only had it last week for the first time when I was away last weekend. I was up in Queensland.
So you're watching it on your laptop?
So I watched it on my iPad.
Oh, your iPad. My apologies.
Okay. And it was good.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Shane off the SMS, and you're welcome to call us anytime, 9429 11 16 for Betstars and Stripes, or SMSs 0433 98 11 16 says, watch out for my Rams, good chance to beat Seattle at home, says Shane.
Yeah, interesting one. I mean, I think obviously when you're looking at Seattle, you'd be looking at the letdown factor after that enormous, lucky, fortuitous, whatever you want to say, win against Green Bay. I still think Seattle's defense can be pretty solid. But one thing that you will notice in the NFL, and this is a very, very rudimentary theory, it's sort of akin to betting on a horse because you like the name. But when a team,
please.
no, I'm saying it's akin to that. When a team has a big win, often there's that letdown the next week, or when a team, gets blown out, often they come back strong the next week. I mean, it's a very, very, basic way of looking at it. But you could see Seattle letting down a little bit. You could see that happen.
In the back, any danger? Okay, I'll let
still
go.
bitter.
I'll let go.
You're still bitter about that.
Two hands, middle of the back.
It was terrible.
Two
that missed
referees
call. Absolutely
standing
right.
there.
Now, whilst we're waiting for some of those calls and SMSs to come through, the second week of this segment we'd like to call Education or Understanding the Game, where for those that might be new observers of NFL, some terminology and perhaps some things you've heard commentators make reference to that you're trying to get a full grasp on. And what have we got this week?
Well, this week I looked at that, not to continue to plunge the knife into Doc over here, but that Seattle-Green Bay ending was very contentious, and what it did bring up is the idea of simultaneous possession, which that clearly was not. But if two players go for the ball, an offensive player and a defensive player, they both get it at the same time and land, the offense is awarded the catch. So that's called a simultaneous possession. In this case, the defender went up and got it and brought it down, and then the Seattle guy very cleverly put his hands in there to make it appear that he had simultaneous possession, and that's what was awarded, which was a terrible call. But you can see how a panicked, inexperienced official might suddenly look at that and go, "Hey, I know that these two get it, then the receiver gets the catch." So
that's
you can
actually
see
known
that.
as simultaneous blindness.
Well, that's exactly right. And the other thing with that to remember when you're unlike in college football, you only have to have 1 foot down, so you can balance 1 foot and make the catch. In pro football, you have to have 2, so you have to have 2 feet in bounds, clearly possess the ball as you go out of play. So that's my sort of little education segment for tonight.
Fantastic. Some live sport as well. South Africa have started badly against Australia. They're 3 for 34 off 7 overs in the 2020 match tonight. So we'll keep across that one as well. The Melbourne Storm are the NRL premiers, beating Canterbury 14-4. And the Clive Churchill medalist is Cooper Cronk. The Maestro says Mighty Cowboys all the way to the Super Bowl. I guess an assessment of their chance.
Good signs for them last week. I mean, I'll say this all along. I think if you're a Cowboys fan, you've known this for the last 2 or 3 years. It's going to be a roller coaster ride. It's going to be up and down. A lot of it's on how Tony Romo plays. Does the running game with DeMarco Murray stay healthy? How does the defense catch up? And more importantly, how do they do in that division against the Giants, the Redskins, and the Eagles? I mean, that got them last year. 2 losses to the Giants essentially kept them out of the playoffs.
I feeling Jerry Jones wouldn't cop another year like that.
You would think that, but they're the same. I just don't see much change in that team. But, I mean, that said, they can turn it on. Romo can be fantastic. He can also be terrible, but he can be fun to watch. And I don't know what the market's showing with Dallas. I bet they're an outsider at the moment. But
yeah,
hey,
they're sort of an outsider. And punters are struggling to get a line with them, to be really honest. They've been $26 and pretty solid. They drifted after that surprise loss in the first week, and then they've stayed at $26 thereafter.
That is a very, very big game, Monday Night Football, which, of course, we get about 10:15 on a Tuesday morning with at home to the Bears.
In fact, there's two quarterbacks that kind of define sort of inconsistency, Jay Cutler and Tony Romo. Very talented guys, but also can make some really terrible throws. So you're right, that's a big game. And the Sunday night game is huge as well, the Giants and the Eagles. There's that NFC East division that we talked about. That's a brutal division. I think that's going to be a really good game, that one.
Off the SMS, Bengals a good chance tomorrow, ?
I had this game marked, and I would be interested to hear what Al may have some theories on this. I'm not sure. This one's a pick'em, I think, like a go either way, the Bengals and the Jaguars. I don't actually think there's a line on it. So Bengals inconsistent going into Jacksonville where the Jaguars play pretty good defense. I don't know. To me, this is perfectly picked by the odds makers. This is a real toss-up to me.
Just we were talking about the Eagles just a moment ago. Where do you rate Vic? How do you rate Vic?
I don't know how you rate him. It's a great question. I'm not quite sure where you rate someone like that.
Horrible.
He is, but you also have to throw in the fact that he went away to the big house for a couple of years. I think that's if you do John Unitas and say, I take 2 chunks out of where Johnny U or Joe Montana and threw him in.
How long did he do?
Threw him in 23 months, I think he got out.
You ever
early.
read the details of what that
horrific?
This wasn't just blokes sitting around betting on dog
fighting. It was terrible. It was really, really bad. And he got that. He got what he deserved, and people were all over that.
It was
terrible.
horrific what they did to those
Yes, it
dogs.
was. And then they tried to pass it off as cultural. A lot of people grew up in the South. A lot of people in the rural South grew up with that. Like, all right, maybe a few dog fights, but not the stuff they were doing. You're right.
Mark in Mill Park says, can we please stop speaking about the Seattle win? Cost me $450 in a multi. Joe Watson into Sydney, Hawthorn, either team under 15. Melbourne Storm and Green Bay.
Oh dear, that hurts. That
I'll tell you, what was his name? Mark, was it?
Mark
dear.
I'll tell you what, Mark. If you had that bet with Betstar, we're going to refund that $450 and put it into your account as a free bet. If you had that bet with Betstar,
Right,
if you didn't,
right.
we can't help you, buddy.
I don't think you've ever afforded me a refund of a losing bet in all the years I've been betting with you, Alan. Explain, please.
We're just opening up the shoulder. We're starting a new show here. Mark is obviously scathed by the.
What am I, a bowl of goldfish?
Wonder if I can get a refund for the bet I should have put on. Which I
If only.
didn't. Greg from West Meadows says, college football today, West Virginia 70, Baylor 63, 35 all at half time.
8 touchdown passes for this guy named Geno Smith. It was like video game football, that one.
And the defenses go
Unbelievable.
today.
Yeah. I have a friend who actually went to West Virginia, a guy who lives here in town, Adam, and he called me up and said, I'm not sure if it's glass half full because our offense is so good or glass half empty because our defense is so bad. So, yeah, they're pretty remarkable. Thanks for that, Greg. Good friend of SEN, Greg.
Yep.
Very knowledgeable American sports guy.
And just a couple more SMSs before our next break. What do we got here? Bill's defensive line to break Brady and the joke of an offensive line he has protecting him.
This is a big game. This is a real interesting game. I actually think the Patriots are a pretty good bet in that one. I think they're given, I want to say they're giving 3.5 maybe in that one. And I think that's one. I love the Bills. I love what they're doing. I love the way they're building. But I just get the feeling New England at some point's got to break things open a bit.
They are giving 3.5.
Yeah,
But we're going to go through all of those games later on. So the listeners, we'll go through all the games that are going to be broadcast live and give all the markets.
I want to ask Ed something, and I'm being a golf fan, and the Ryder Cup it's actually a treasure, the Ryder Cup, for a golf fan. It's an awkward time, of course, this weekend being AFL and NRL grand finals, but it's on at the moment, and America look like they've got Europe beaten. But the behaviour of the American golf fans bemuses me.
Bizarre, isn't it?
Because you just don't understand. How can you be cheering about balls going into bunkers and by the Europeans and missing putts?
It's a funny one.
Golf's
Yeah,
not
I know.
like that.
I know. The trouble is with it when you take an individual sport and make a team thing out of it, like the Davis Cup. I mean, to me, tennis, when you see these people screaming, yelling at tennis, is weird to me as well. I think it makes it. I concur with you 100%, but I think this idea of team and they build it up that these guys get to play a team and we're taking Europe. I think the fans get so jacked up they can go on a golf course and they don't have to be quiet.
Because rules and regulations are so important. It's such a gentlemanly game, if you like to put it in those terms. But I've heard some stupid things yelled at from the crowd. Of course, in the hole, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
guy tees off on the par 5 in the hole. Yeah. But today, Tiger took a drop. I don't know whether his ball was on a sprinkler head or something like that. He takes it, he holds the ball in front of him and dropped it, and a guy yells out, "Good drop, Tiger." Give me a break. Give me a
That's
break.
great. That's one of the classics. I love that.
We have to get a breakaway on Betstars and Stripes. Studs and duds coming after this. Also the markets for all of the games this weekend as well. Keep your SMSs coming through 0433 98 11 16. You can call us on 9429 11 16. Of course, all of this brought to you by Betstar. Iskander's Betstar, proudly Australian owned, and for this spring they brought back an old favourite with double fixed odds from 8 a.m. race day on all Group 1 races this spring. A break and back with more.
This is Bet Stars and Stripes with Dr. Turf, Ed Wyatt and Alice Gander.
Welcome back to Bet Stars and Stripes. Thanks to Betstar. Take on Betstar at betstar.com.au. We're about to embark on a new segment called Studs and Duds, where we'll look at some of the best and worst performers of the last week. But an SMS for you, Ed, before we go on from Rocky says, "Hey boys, I'm in New Orleans in 5 weeks, catching the Eagles-Saints game on Monday Night Football. Can't wait. There's a college on the Saturday and it's a homecoming game. Can you explain what that is for me?"
Homecoming. Yes, homecoming is a tradition where all the other old graduates of the school, and this happens probably more in high school than college, but they come back and there's a big celebration and a party. It just is they build bonfires and all those great things you see in those American movies. So,
it's an elaborate reunion.
It is like it kind of is. Yeah, built around a football game.
So it's a piss up.
It is.
Yeah,
correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Just wanted to clarify that.
So time for studs and duds. So we'll look at some of the notable performances and some of the shockers out of the week. Yeah, Ed, we might start with first of your studs.
Studs. I'm going to go with Matt Ryan, a quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons. I mentioned him last week, being a guy that really has boosted a lot of fantasy teams. People would have picked him up late in the first round, probably, or second round. He was fantastic. 30 of 40 passes, 275 yards, 3 touchdowns, and Atlanta actually took took care of the Chargers very easily, 27-3.
And